to complete our little snowman. What you will need are some yarn. I'm using black and some green, and they are both 100% acrylic, medium 4 worsted weight yarn. You will also need a hook. I am using the size 4.5 millimeters, so it is a little bigger than the hook that I used for the body. A pair of scissors for snipping off the end of your yarn, and a yarn needle for weaving in all your ends and sewing on the hat and skirt. So once you have all of those materials, let's head over to the table and get started. See you soon! So your hat is going to start off the same way that your snowman started off as. And what you need to do is form a magic ring, and then take your crochet hook and single crochet 6 times into that magic ring. And because we are dealing with black yarn, it might be a little hard to see the stitches. When you have 6 single crochets, I'll meet you back and start row 2. To finish row 1, you'll want to grab your tail and pull it taut until the hole disappears. You'll want to take your hook, insert it into that last stitch, and just like the body of our snowman, we are going to finish that first row with a slip stitch. That is the end of row 1. Row 2, you want to start off by chaining 1. And you are going to single crochet twice into that very same stitch. And then you are going to single crochet twice into the next stitch all the way around. And that's going to bring you to a total of 12 stitches. Okay, so I am now at the end of my row, and if you can see, I am at the false stitch. And what I want to do now is just crochet once into that false stitch. And if you still aren't sure at how many stitches that you have, you can just go back and count the ridges. And if you have a total of 12, then you know that you have the correct amount. You're then going to finish row 2 by slipping your hook into that first stitch that you made, yarn over, and create a slip stitch. And that completes row 2. Row 3 is going to be our last row of increasing. And what we want to do to start it out is chain 1. We then want to single crochet into the very first stitch of the row. So no single crochet into the stitch where we join. We're just going to single crochet right into that very first stitch. We're just going to do it once. So there's 1 single crochet. And then right into the second single crochet, we are going to single crochet twice. And there's 1. And 2. So we're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around until we reach our last stitch. So there's 1 stitch, and then single crochet twice into the next one. And by the end of the row, you should have a total of 18 stitches. Now we'll meet you back when you have all 18. As you can see, I have just reached the end of my row, and I have reached the false stitch. And what I want to do with this false stitch, to keep my seam even, I'm just going to single crochet right into that little false stitch once.
and I will join my row with the slip stitch. So right into that
we are
next
just going to be single
stitch
crocheting
into each stitch all the way around, and you should still have a total of 18 stitches at the end of your row. So go ahead and chain 1 and single crochet for the next 18 stitches. Now we'll meet you back at the end of row 5. To finish row 5, we are going to work 1 single crochet right into that false stitch at the end of the row, and then slip stitch right into that very first single crochet that we made at the beginning of the row, and there's the end of row 5. For the next couple of rows, we are going to work our single crochets in the color for our scarf. And for me, I am using a light green yarn so that it can be seen better on screen. So take your yarn, wrap it around, grab it with your hook, and pull up the loop. And this is just a really quick and easy way to change colors. And you want to grab your black yarn and pull it down really tight so that it stays secure. And this is a method that I learned from another crocheter from Yarn and Tie, and I really like how this method is because it looks nice and clean. For rows 6 and 7, all you're going to do is chain 1 and single crochet into each and every stitch, and you should still have a total of 18 by the end of your row. And that goes for row 7 as well. You should have a total of 18. And if you notice, I am just working over my black yarn just so that it would be easier to weave in my ends at the end of my row. And I will meet you back at the end of row 7. Now that you're at the end of that 7th row and at your false stitch, you want to go ahead and snip off your green yarn. You won't use it again until your scarf. And finish your row with a single crochet right into that false stitch. You then want to take your hook, you slip stitch like you normally would, but instead of finishing it off with the green, you want to yarn over and grab your black yarn and finish row 7 with a slip stitch. Cut your tail and chain 1. And that will start off row 8. Row 8 is the last row of the hat. And what you want to do is take your crochet hook and single crochet twice into each stitch, including the joining stitch, all the way around. And by the end of the row, you should have a total of 36 stitches. You can snip off your yarn and get started on your scarf. I will meet you back at the end of row 8. To complete the end of your hat, you want to take your hook and single crochet once right into that false stitch. And finish off your row with a slip stitch. Grab your scissors and snip off your yarn. Yarn over, pull through, and then do a nice little toe. And then you can take your yarn needle and weave in your tail. Flip your hat inside out. And there is a cute little hat. To start on your scarf, what you want to do is take the color that you're using for your scarf and chain 21. And that would be the first part of your scarf. And I want to single crochet once into the second chain from the hook. And then you're just going to continue like that all the way down the row. And you will have a total of 20 single crochets by the end of your row. When you reach the end of your row, go ahead and crochet into that last chain. Snip off your yarn with your scissors. As you can see, I've already done that. And finish off that last single crochet. Yarn over and pull through and touch it tight. There is the first part of your scarf. For the smaller part of your scarf, you want to go ahead and chain 13. And then we are just going to do the same thing that we did for the bigger part and single crochet right into that second stitch from the hook. Then go all the way down until we have a total of 12 stitches. And then snip off your yarn. And you want me ready to assemble your snowman. Okay, so to decorate your snowman, first of all you need the body of your snowman, you need your hat, and your two scarves. And it's a little hard to put all of that stuff here on camera, but we're going to start out with the hat. And to start the hat, you can either glue the hat on top of your little snowman, or you can sew it on, which is what I'm going to do. So just hold your little guy in place, take a piece of black yarn, and sew along the edge of the little snowman. And you can use the stitches as a guide to hold your snowman together. And I'll meet you back when you've got your little snowman on. To create his eyes, all I did was a couple of knots right here with the same color of yarn that I used for the hat. For the scarf, I went ahead and sewed the bigger part around his neck and cinched it a little set, but it's not snug. What you want to do with the second part is take it and tuck it right underneath. Just like that. And lay it flat, so it looks like his scarf is nice and folded. And I want to take your needle and sew the scarf right onto the snowman. And I am just using the same color of yarn that I used while sewing him. And it would be a good idea to do a couple of knots. Now for his mouth, I am going to glue on a piece of string that would act as his mouth. And I found that sometimes if you sew on the mouth, it doesn't quite look authentic or real. So there we go. And just sew it on until he looks like he's the scarf is secure and then it won't fall off. And there we go. And once you put on his mouth, it will be all ready to hang on the tree. There's one more. And then I'm just going to finish off by tying a knot. And then snip off the rest of the yarn. And there he is, a cute little snowman.
Okay, so this is what your little guy should look like when you have snowing on. Now button the scarf in half. And if you want, you can add on a little hook so it can hang comfortably on your tree. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you all next week. See you soon!